Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. For those of you who are new to this channel, my name is Tumi. I am a holistic medical doctor and a dancer, and I created this channel to support you living your most vibrant, most delicious life. And so it's a special sauce blend of my dance as well as my holistic health advice. And I thought how fitting it is to speak to Dr. Aris Latham today. A lot of you email me and Facebook me and write in the YouTube comments asking me how I stay successful on a raw vegan living foods diet. And I want to share with you that a big part of that has to do with a lot of the work, the wonderful work that Dr. Latham has shared. And so I feel privileged to be sitting next to you today and to interview Dr. Latham with you guys in the most spectacular of settings. Gorgeous tropical Costa Rican rain in the rainy season here in Dr. Latham's gorgeous home. So let's dive in. Dr. Latham, the first question I have has to do with your journey to Sunfired Foods. Sunfired Foods is the term that you shared with us, and I love this term, the idea of the foods being cooked by the sun. And I'm curious to know, paint us a picture if you can of your life before that and what drew you to this lifestyle.
Wow. Well, look, it all started 70 years ago, you know, in my birthplace, the Gatun Lake, you know, the lake that floats the Panama Canal. And growing up in what was then the U.S. Canal Zone, you know, I was privileged that my grandfather, who had migrated all the way from Barbados to work on the canal, that he was paid in silver coins. And you know, of course, the American workers were paid in gold coins. And you know, 1947, when I was born, during that era, you know, it was, you know, Jim Crow. But it was a different flavor of Jim Crow, so it was gold coin. You could shop through this door. The other door said silver. So that's how it was. So we were shopping in the silver section of the commissary, where we didn't have the privilege to eat high on the hog. So all the expensive steaks and cheese, all imported, you know, high-end stuff. So we were eating basic foods. You know, so it's great to grow up on a silver road and to be blessed with being on the basic end of eating. You know, so then everything was fresh. So this is how it all started. So if we ate fish, it was fresh catch that morning. If it was pork, fresh kill that morning. But you know, during those times, it was the icebox era. You know, so we didn't. That was luxury to even buy ice. You know, so whatever was slaughtered that day was eaten that day. You know, so in our chicken coop, you know, help Grandpa wring the chicken neck off and you know grab that body as it run around. You know, with headless. You know. Pull the feathers out, and we had fresh chicken on Sunday, you know, the traditional West Indian, you know, fare, and so on and on. So moving out of Panama, migrating to the U.S. at the age of 17, and you know, in Panama, I'm also fused with the Latin culture.
Yes.
So between the Caribbean cuisine, the American, you know, silver food, and the Latin, you know, grease joint, you know, it was quite a tricultural culinary, you know, beginning for me. So going to New York now, you know, here comes another layer. Sloppy Joe, met Sloppy Joe and hot dog and hamburger and all these things. And after 2 years on that, developed a heart murmur. Lost all my athletics, you know, athletic scholarships and all of that. And moving on from there, community college in the suburbs of New York City, and oops, I butt up with the hippies. 1967. So back to the land, counterculture, you know, hey, you know, sandals and, you know, eating trail mix, you know, and hanging out with the new energy, or what we call the dawning of the age of Aquarius vibration, you know, and of course, on top of the hippie energy, we had the Vietnam War, you know, counter-war vibration going on, and fuse that also with the Black Power movement. So it was about hey man, why are you eating that chicken? Can't you see you sneezing every time you eat that chicken? And here we are sitting in the president's office trying to stick up these folks so they can give us the right education. And you sneezing, they're going to hear we in here. So don't eat that chicken anymore. And so it was about self-defense, it was about revolution. So this is how we got into it back then in the 60s. It was a revolutionary act. It wasn't about trying to save, you know, some old bald eagle out of California or some zebra in South Africa. It was save this bald head that I sleep in every night. You know, so yeah, I mean, we were like, so, you know, about no spirituality and, you know, what do you call the other thing, save the environment and those things, about self-defense, taking charge, because we recognized then that food was a weapon, and we were in a revolution, and we're not going to, you know, eat weapons, you know, and defeat our purpose. So the spirit continues, so on and on. This is how it's been. And the revolution continues, even right to today. Even though Gil Scott Heron said the revolution would not be televised, he got front row seat. So here we are, in your face with the revolution. So, you know, we're talking 1968, I started the journey and then became full vegetarian. I don't mess with that word vegan. That's a curse word as far as I'm concerned. Full vegetarian, still full vegetarian. And so by 1970, that was it. No dairy, no animal source products at all. And now, 48 years later, you know, not even no B12 in this body. 6 years after that initial move, 1976, all live. You know, what I call Sunfired foods, because there was no terminology that I was, you know, pleased with to describe this wonderful creation of nature, this life, you know, life food. So for me, it wasn't about, you know, raw food. Raw food, what is that? That's an insult. There's nothing raw about, you know, hey, call this raw? Raw. Is that raw? After all the work that the sun did to cook this for us, you know, the sun is I'm not a chef. There's only one chef on this planet, cooks for everybody. You know, visits our garden every day and check our pot, make sure it's moving. So it wasn't about raw food for me at all, and it's still not raw food, you know, because that's an insult, you know, because it's like, hey, something, you didn't do something right, nature, you know, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to beat it, bake it, boil it, steam it, jerk it, barbecue it, and all this stuff. No, it's not about that. So living foods, that kind of leaves a little door wide open, you know, because I be seeing, like, you know, lobsters and stuff bouncing in plates and stuff, living lobsters, you know. No, it ain't about that either. You know, unfired foods was one of the terminology used back then. And I looked at that on, I said, no, there's nothing on about this either. That's like, why do I need a negative to describe something so wonderful? Wow, I looked at unfired, and I put an S in front of unfired. And there's the birth of Sunfired. So we coined Sunfired. So it's all about sun-fired foods. So now it's been 42 years, you know, that I've been like just all fired up here, eating, you know, sun-cooked food, you know, cooked to perfection, because the growing period is the cooking process.
Yes.
So here we are, 42 years later.
Looking vibrant.
True that.
And just exuding life, really.
Yes, yes.
Can you share with us, Dr. Latham, some of the, if I said to you, why Sunfired? What are the benefits you have felt? I feel in your presence, but those who are on the other side of the camera, can you share what are the health benefits, the life benefits you have felt from eating a Sunfired diet?
Yeah, well, you know, the feeling thing is like, that's pretty, you know, because there's a lot of people that feel and feel and feel, and yet they're rotting on the inside. So we need facts, you know, because many people challenge me about, you know, eating my 80 bananas a day, or 8 bananas a day is better than eating, you know, Sunfired, or people talking about, you know, eating some cooked vegan and different types of things on that level, and even meat eaters try that. So look, let's deal with facts, okay? Let me see your medical report.
Yeah.
Let's take it. Let's see what you know science says. Yeah. So my last medical report, when I became 70, I went to get my license renewed. They said, oh, you can't renew your driver's license without a medical report. Mind and body, medical report. And, this is a Panama driver's license, so they're pretty tight. They don't want no 70-year-old trying to ride down the road and, knocking everybody out because he's senile or something like that. You know how they be with the triple bifocals or trifocals and all these things. They still can't see. So I went to the doc, got my checkup, all the different tests and everything, and it's posted. It's posted on Facebook, August 2017. Clean, clear bill of health. This young man is in perfect health, and I assure you that he suffers from no communicable disease. So this is it. So pull up and let's see if you question what is the real benefit of living like this. Haven't been sick, never get sick, don't wear glasses, don't have a big pot belly, don't have any issue going on, still very virile, very strong. My mind is clean and clear, no free Alzheimer's or any of that brewing over here. My heart is moving nice. I got loads of energy, so.
That murmur is gone?
Oh, that murmur been gone. that was just a little nick, but of course, it was just a culture shock that I was experiencing till I came back home, so thanks to the revolutionary movements of the 60s. Hey, everybody out there, welcome home, Yeah, Dr. Toomey. Wow. So, of course, a lot of the medical benefits, straight up health benefits, and, I'm not going to waste your time. You could ask the robots. All of that is out there, but just from a personal perspective, this is it. I'm living it. There's no other testimony than this, and to be able to sit with you here and say that, I feel that I think I'm going to be 2 years old, well, maybe 1 year old come July 24th. That's my birthday, July 24th.
Wow.
So I think I've completed half of my life, 70. So I'm starting the new half now. So I'll be 1 year old July 24th on my second cycle.
Yes.
So this is how I feel. It's like, it took me 70 years to figure this life out. So now I've been birded. I'm ready to live now. Apply all of this, knowledge, all of this wisdom, all of the hard knocks. It's like, let's take it to the life bank now. This is where we at now.
Gorgeous. So that leads me to this question. I think there's so many people out there who they feel your spirit. They see the results, the actual scientific results. They see your medical records. They see that there is benefit in this, in Sunfired living. But they're having a hard time sticking to it. They wake up in the morning, they say, I'm going to eat this way, and by the end of the day, that has not happened. So what are having done this for 40-something years, and you're consistent, what are some of those pearls that you could share with us about how to stay on this road, how to stay consistent?
Well, I've not developed, but I've observed a system that I have packaged. So I have it in a crystal form, in the form of a poster that you can get at my website, sunfired.com. And this crystallizes the whole energy, because our challenge is that we really don't know the human body. We don't know the nature of the body we live in. So unfortunately, the body owner's manual was not included in your birth certificate records, So we're learning all about this all over again. So I feel like, like how, Imhotep discovered the circulation of the blood thousands of years ago, that the blood circulates in the human body. So I think I've observed, like, hey, there's a certain energy in the human body that we are short-circuiting, because we've been on this experimental merry-go-round, since the advent of fire. This is when it all began, since we started using fire, whenever that is. We've been on the planet at least 1 million years, based on recorded history. And the advent of fire, possibly maybe 200,000 years or so. Let's say 300,000. Oh, 500,000, okay? Possibly. So at least 500,000 years we live without eating cooked food.
Yeah.
So understand that we've been experimenting since we started using fire, trying to figure out how to adapt to eating cooked food. And the jury is in. So stop being a guinea pig. You know, so this is where, so it's of course you got to start with that big, heavy foundation of dealing with the mind. Because for most of us, our mind has become our greatest enemy. You know, so you got to get this mind, you know, working with you, and understand that this little thing here is an animal, you know, and you gotta the way you train your dogs and your cats and your other animals, you gotta train this little beast that you live in, you know. So wow. And that's a big job, because you got to clean them out, you got to detox them, depending on the age you are, where you at, and all of these things. So definitely detox. There are 3 pillars to optimum health: good, clean food, detox, cleansing, constantly, keeping the toxins moving, and physical activity.
Yes.
Dancing, running, you know. I do yoga, but I do yoga for a cause. You
What's
know?
that?
Well, if I want to get some coconuts, I go climb my coconut tree.
Nice.
So I climb a tree. I go.
Yeah.
Hey, this is it. You know, which is fine. You could do the other yoga. There's nothing wrong with that. But I find that in my busy schedule, I got to get more than one thing's done at a time. You know,
Yeah.
in the same move. So since I want to do my yoga and I need to drink my coconut water, I just go climb a coconut tree and do coconut yoga. You know, so. Wow. Phew, and I'm still doing it at this age. You know, started from I think. Year 5. So get to know your body, get to know the animal you live in, and understand that after years, it's just an accumulation of toxins, of waste, of garbage, of filth in the body. So it's very difficult to just go onto a live food diet just like that, because what's going to happen is that the more of this living food you consume, the more the body is going to start to release toxins.